Hello, YouTube, Crazy Boy here. I'm gonna skip this ad in this video. Today I'm doing a reaction video to Overly Sarcastic Productions' latest video on history summarized by the Blue Guy. I've seen these guys' videos and they're actually pretty good, I must say. Well done, you two, who with your subscriber mark. I have not seen the ancient China summary, so let's get to it. And yeah.
This video is brought to you by Squarespace. More on that later. The empire, long divided, must unite. Long united, must divide.
Long united must divide. Okay, that sounds like nonsense stuff right there.
Thus it has ever been. So opens the famous Chinese tale, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Or, to put it another way,
China's home again. China's whole again. Broken again. Oh yeah, because it keeps breaking apart.
And that's honestly pretty accurate. The story of China is a very long, often winding, and all too frequently shattered enterprise, but it is damn interesting.
Okay, I did not approve of some of the things they say at times, but I'll cut out the ones when it gets really bad in my opinion, but that's my opinion. This history summary, it's not too bad in all honesty. Let's see, they get accurate stuff at times, but yeah, these guys are pretty good. It would be cool to actually, I don't know, meet them maybe. But I'm never gonna go VidCon in a year here, most likely, because I'm never gonna get popular nor be close enough to it that my parents would let me go. And come with me and all. Nah. But if you guys truly want me to come to VidCon, get me popular enough, and maybe hope it's somewhere close in the west side of America, and then we'll see. Unless I'm no longer dead in 2020, then hope it's in Europe or some other part of the world that I'll be at. Yeah, I'm nuts. Also, before I continue with this, I hope you like, subscribe, and also go and check out these Overly Sarcastic Productions. They are pretty good. What the videos they do. And I enjoy them in all honesty, and yeah, go and check them out. Anyway, what's the usual thing I do? You know what? Let me ask someone. Sparkles! What's the usual thing I do in my videos? What's the usual thing I do in my videos? And she doesn't answer. Wait. Now I remember. Roll intro tune.
So,
let's get this madness rolling.
Hey there, so the thing is with Blue here, so he said so, that's all he said, so you have nothing to worry about. Anyway, let's get reacting.
So, to find out what's causing this 3,000-year-long dance of unifying and fragmenting, let's do some history.
Yeah, how often did it actually happen in China? Did it happen like 3,000 times every month? I mean, sarcastic if you can't tell. No? Okay.
To start, every civilization needs water in some form or another.
Yep.
Egypt has the Nile, Mesopotamia has the Tigris and the Euphrates, and China has the Yellow River. The earliest
Yellow River? I don't think rivers can be yellow. I mean, I've heard of the Red Sea, and that one makes sense, but yellow? Unless there's some sort of light reflection stuff going on, or something else. Let me try and think. What would make sense to make water yellow? Yellow. Okay, man, here's a possibility. Unless there's some sort of electricity thing flowing through water, it's always sparking electricity, then no, yellow water should not be possible. Because I would say if water is covered in electricity enough, it would be sparking yellow, and people think it's yellow instead of blue.
Records of centralized civilization in China point to the Yellow River Basin as the cradle of that civilization. But written records only tell part of the story, and in China especially, there's a—
Wow. I mean, I'm learning Chinese, but, some of these
There's a pretty shocking gap between what our sources tell us and what we found archaeologically in the past century all across the country. So for instance, the Yangtze River to the south was once regarded as a later development during the Chinese Bronze Age, but nope, there was all kinds of separate stuff going on down there before we ever see significant textual evidence for it. So back to the Yellow River.
Yellow River? Yangtze River. Okay. So basically in history, we try and know stuff of really ancient past, but we have a time getting a whole summary of it that makes sense and it's true because there's chunks for that incorrectly translated and all of that nonsense because people have a time translating ancient languages that no one speaks anymore.
From what we know, civilization got properly going during the reign of the 5 semi-divine and almost certainly legendary emperors. The last one, Emperor Yu, founded the also likely mythical Xia dynasty in the 22nd century BC. And real quick on the subject of names, despite 2 Chinese-speaking friends very generously coaching my pronunciation, I am still sure to fail, so blanket apology. Skipping ahead to sturdier footing, we have the definitely real Shang dynasty, who ruled from the Yellow River Basin during the Chinese Bronze Age. But even here, we found boatloads of evidence for distinct cultures with regionally unique bronze work, implying fairly independent societies across China. There's also a decent chance that the Shang and later Zhou dynasties overlapped.
Okay, it's really loud and it's hard for me to be heard. Let me just turn this down. I didn't realize it was that loud. Oh boy. There you go. But, yeah. Let's get back.
Recognize that this is all a bit too hazy, but I hope that you can see why this might be a very contentious issue, and we're still discovering new things all the time. So even more so than usual, general disclaimer that academics are currently spilling rivers of ink debating some of what I'll cover in this series.
Ink!
And speaking of writing,
so there's rivers of ink!
Things are
oh boy!
of the written Chinese language.
I did not want to see rivers of ink, that would be disturbing, and something's going on, give me a sec. Okay.
Before hucking them into a fire to see how they cracked and which statements were verified. The writing, though obviously super old, is still recognizably Chinese, and the Quran went through him to found the Zhou dynasty, which went on to rule for another 800 years. And this brings us to one of the most central concepts in Chinese history, the mandate of heaven. The basic idea is that if you rule justly, heaven will smile upon you and grant you dominion over China. But if you behave wickedly, as the last Shang emperor did, you forfeited your power and someone more noble than you is going to claim it. So just watch out for that happening all the time for the next 3,000 years. Anyway, the Zhou dynasty starts to consolidate our mental image of classical China, with unique knife and spade coinage, walls, bureaucratic government, and a lot of soon-to-be very...
Wait, why are you using Legos?
Unfortunately for the Zhou,
China's made of Legos?
Forever, and China's longest dynasty spent millennium fending off assailants from all sides after caving in on itself in the 770s BC. So I mean, yeah, the Zhou were around for another 500 years, but come on, look at it. Barely even exists. It's tiny. The split between the strong and cohesive Western Zhou and the tiny Eastern Zhou, as they were known, also marks the start of a lot of war over the next few centuries. The Spring and Autumn Annals, a historical text describing the 8th to early 5th centuries, also gives us the name for the Spring and Autumn period. And all things considered, it wasn't too bad. What started with about 150 independent kingdoms, dukedoms, and city-states gradually glomped each other to narrow that number down to 30 or so, and then to 7 by the end. The Spring and Autumn period
that's
was
when China started getting big,
things
apparently.
Definitely heated up as the remaining territories became bigger and wealthier. Still, you couldn't just deathball your way into an empire, so strategy became a crucial weapon, and that's where the art of war comes in. Sun Tzu's famous work of military philosophy makes clear that the art of war is drawn like all the better to break your opponent without even lifting a spear if you can avoid it. Sun Tzu knew that lengthy campaigns were a disaster waiting to happen, so clever politics and tricky tactics often won the day. Machiavelli would be very proud. So with all this high-level political military strategery going on, these states would sure do well to have a smart person or two on hand. And the latter portion of the Spring and Autumn period saw a rise in the power and influence of educated aristocracy. One such scholarly gentleman was a guy who saw no greater purpose in life than serving as a government bureaucrat. No, but like, seriously.
How many weird words are in there in the English language or any language in general?
For 13 years, accomplishing not much of anything. The career of this Kong Cho looks like a complete failure at face value because it kind of was. But fast forward a few hundred years and his assorted teachings come to us through arguably the most foundational work of Chinese philosophy, the Analects of Confucius. Look at that.
What?
Sneaky on ya. In a world dominated by conflict and political duplicity between competing states, Confucius taught the value of gentlemanly virtue and adherence to cultural norms of conduct and respect. He had a very particular view of the past as holding valuable instruction for his largely wayward times. And you can argue the subtext here is, hey guys, if any of you want the mandate of heaven, you better get your damn act together.
Okay. Wow. Get your act together, basically, is like basically, get your act together, get your act together, get your act together, boom, like a boss.
He was also simply
that
teaching
is a boss move,
people
just
how
saying,
to cope with stuff being
get your act
crazy
together. Okay, folks, now, let's continue with the nonsense.
From the only active philosopher, as the famed 100 schools of thought were writing philosophy like there was...
You know what, hearing this entire thing is, although it's interesting to learn, it's not very interesting for a video, for, like, reacting and all of that, and other stuff. I'm just letting you guys know that these people know as overly sarcastic. You know what, I'll just leave a link to the channel below, but these guys are really good in my opinion. I enjoyed their videos of the history assemblies and all that. I don't improve a few things they do at times. It's not as bad as ours. But anyway, these guys are pretty good YouTubers, and they have good videos. I'm definitely going to watch them for quite a bit. But anyways, Crazy Boy, and I'm out of here.